You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I am, as always, your host, Seth. Today, I have a Canadian, hence the reason why, if you're watching the video, I'm wearing my Niagara Falls Canadian hat, complete with a Canadian flag, in honor of Larry Easto, who is a lawyer, a business coach, an author, a Canadian, so he's a really nice guy. He actually is a Canadian that actually epitomizes, I think it's the right word, a Canadian. He's a nice guy.
Wow.
And all that, because I hear some Canadians, there are some salty Canadians from what I hear, so.
Oh, yeah, we've got some, well, we're human beings, and some of us are nice and some of us aren't. It's just kind of shakes out that way.
It's not quite like the U.S. where it's like, it depends on the day.
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
So Larry's up in Toronto, where it's gorgeous and cold, but not snowy today. And yeah, so how have you so you're a lawyer, a former lawyer, you're now a business coach now, or you're a recovering lawyer.
Well, being a lawyer is kind of like being an alcoholic. You never really stop. It's one of those things. But no, I practiced law for a whole bunch of time, and then I left law and did some consulting, and then some coaching, and then some writing, and some teaching, and some training, and
that's awesome.
I don't know whether I have a short attention span or there's just so many things I want to do and learn.
That's great. I mean, that's how you should. That's the idea of being an entrepreneur. And I feel like a lot of lawyers. Did you ever work in a firm when you first got out, or did you always just have your own shingle?
Oh no, I was a lawyer and an entrepreneur by default.
Oh wow, you've been an entrepreneur the whole time.
Yeah, well, I'm probably the world's worst employee. I really don't like. I worked for a couple of lawyers in small firms, and I was trained in terms of look after your clients; they'll always look after you. And these guys kind of had dollar signs in their eyes, and we had disagreements about how the clients could be served and what the clients really needed. And a couple of discussions that did not end well. So I thought, well, in order for me to serve clients the way I want to serve them, and I think they deserve to be served, I've got to run my own show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I started my own practice, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, I'm running a business now. What's this all? I didn't want to do this. What happened? Whoa! See what happens when you follow your goals. So and that was kind of cool, and that opened that opened my mind away. It shifted my mind from employee to self-sufficiency, self-responsibility.
Yeah,
and it just opened so many doors. So.
And so that was kind of natural progression, because once you figured out, oh crap, now I'm an entrepreneur, not just a lawyer, you kind of learned how to do the business, and then you became a business coach and all that stuff, because you kind of figured stuff out and can share it with others.
Oh yeah. I it's funny because I knew what planning was because I took community planning in law school, but I didn't know what business planning was. And once I started to do business planning, I'm thinking, hey, this is really way cool. And as I got more into it, I realized business planning, well, one person business planning, personal planning, it's all the same thing. So from there, I got into the motivational kinds of things and the mindset and all of those squishy woo-woo areas. And I found there's a really nice fit between doing business and personal development. So that's been my journey for the past probably 15, 20 years.
There you go. So you were a lawyer, and now you branched off. You're like, all right, I can do that still. I mean, I'm sure. Do you still have your shingle? Do you still?
Oh no. That's long gone. That's long gone.
That's long gone. You did kind of like, all right, I'm done with that era.
That was probably 5 lifetimes ago.
Oh, so you're a cat.
Yeah, kind of like that. Well, no,
Mhm.
no, no. I didn't. We used to have a neighbor who said I reinvented myself every 5 years,
Hey, that's the
and
way to do it. Yeah.
I kind of liked it. But then I was doing something and I wanted to use that image, so I figured, okay, so every 5 years. I haven't done it quite in every 5 years. It's more like every 15 or 20. But we only knew them for short
That's
period
a
of
little
times.
that's a little bit more normal. People
Yeah,
pivot
yeah,
every 10 to 15 years or
yeah,
15 to
yeah.
20 years. They rediscover themselves versus every 5 years. I feel like the younger generations now
Oh
I sound
yeah.
like the younger whippersnappers. They pivot every 2 years they change companies,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah,
how could you're just getting started in that company? You're just figuring stuff out. You're just
yeah.
figuring out
Oh
who
yeah,
you are in that company, what you are. Like, how can you change so often? It doesn't look good,
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, but I mean, yeah, 20 years is that's 2 decades. When you think about it, that's a long time too. It's trying to find a happy medium between pivots, that kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Yep, yep.
So then, what made you write books? Like, how many books have you written so far?
31 that I'm claiming. 31 or
Wow.
books or book equivalents. I, I, I went to a workshop after I started consulting. I went to a workshop to learn how to market consulting services,
Yeah.
and it was okay. But partway through it, the guy said, if you really want to do well as a consultant, you got to write a book. And I thought, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this could be cool. So I stayed for the he did a half hour thing on writing a book, and I've always been an avid reader. I learned to
Mm-hmm.
read probably before I went to school. I don't know how that happened, but I
Yeah,
probably through
things happen.
parents' help.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home from the library with armfuls of books. So I've always been a huge book fan. And so I
Oh,
thought,
that's
yeah,
great.
I could do this. And I played with the idea and started writing and continued writing. And all of a sudden, I found myself with a book, and it was kind of
All of a
cool. And
sudden.
I had
Mhm.
a friend who was a printer and a graphic
Oh,
designer, and he
so you're self-published.
Yeah, well, interesting story. Totally self-published. Didn't know what I was doing. There were no manuals, and the
Love it.
dummies books hadn't come out then, so there were no manuals in doing it. So I just kind of blundered my way on through. Came out with the first book, and I really liked it. It was really good. And I was at a trade show selling my book. It was a small business trade show, selling my book. And I was talking to a nice lady, and we got along really well. And I talked to lots of nice people. Didn't think about it again, and she left. She got a copy of my book and she left. And later on, I was looking at the cards and got this card from somebody from Doubleday. And I'm thinking, who is that? I don't remember that person. Turns out that she took the book to Doubleday. They liked it. They really liked it. And
Wow.
Doubleday said, "Can we buy rights to the second edition?" I'm saying, "Try me, just try me." And so it worked out
Sure.
really well. But what's cool there is that I had 4 or 5 thousand of my own books on hand. I think, what am I going to do with these 4 or 5 thousand of my own books? So
Mm-hmm.
I said to the marketing guy person, "What do I do with this?" And she says, "Oh, you got any contacts with an organization that could buy them and put their stickers on and give them away?" And I said, "Sure." So I'd been talking to folks at Toronto Dominion Bank, which was one of our big five, and I just
Yeah.
before I talked to them, I talked to her and said, "Can I talk to them?" And she said, "Sure." And she said, "And when you're talking to them, tell them about this, that, and the other stuff." Long story short was that they weren't too big. They didn't like my books,
Um.
the first edition, but they liked what we had in mind for the second edition. So they
Ooh.
bought 115,000
Whoa.
copies of the second edition in the little mass market size
We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
and
Yeah.
gave them away in the branches. Oh,
That's a big.
yeah.
That's a big coup. That's pretty
That's
wild.
indeed. And I thought this was kind of fun. So later on, I was talking to one of the senior people there and I said, "Do you want another book?" And he said, "What do you have in mind?" I said, "Well, I can do a little marketing book." And they said, "Oh, let's take a look at it." So I did a little marketing book, More Business for Your Business, took it to them, and they bought 56,000 copies of that one. But they
Wow.
wanted me to go on a speaking tour. Hello,
Wow.
Wow. So the dream of a lifetime, going on a speaking tour from west to east. I did 21 presentations in 17 locations in 10 days. And it was a blast.
Woo!
It was a
That's
blast.
That's exhausting.
Well, when this came up, I was belonged to a health club, and I was talking to one of the trainers, and he said, "Hey, I got this crazy, stupid thing I'm doing in 4 weeks. How do we get me
Yeah.
ready for it?"
Yeah,
And
you
so he
need
had
to have
me,
the stamina. Yeah.
yeah, so he had me pumping iron, just pumping. Oh yeah, oh like an hour every day for 6 days. And we went on the tour, and
Yeah.
the very last time I was with the senior vice president. We're driving back from St. Catharines down by Niagara Falls, and he's driving. And he says, "How did you do that?" And I said, "How did you do what?" And he said, "You're almost as fresh today as you were in Vancouver." And I said,
Yeah.
"Oh." And he said, "Have you done anything special?" I said, "Well, not since I've been on tour, but before I was on tour, I was working out like crazy." So
Yeah.
it was a blast. It was great.
That's awesome. So and so this whole time so at that point you're writing these books. Were you still a lawyer at that time, or you're kind of
Oh
like
no, no,
phasing
no.
that
That was
out?
that was long after, long after.
So that was your your second renaissance was becoming
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. I get more credibility as a former lawyer than I ever did as a practicing
I
lawyer.
know that's awesome. That's fantastic.
When I was practicing law, people saw it as an opportunity to take out their favorite bitches about lawyers. Whereas now, two things: I don't have to listen to lawyers' jokes anymore, or even laugh at them,
Yeah.
and people want the inside scoop on lawyers. So hey,
You have it. You've lived it. It's
I'm also
done.
a storyteller, so I can make up stories.
You can make good stories. I'm sure you have lots of stories that you can just
Oh
like
yeah.
change the names on and make it so it's
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah
copacetic and
yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah yeah. Yeah.
So in your mind, since you've tried the in-house thing, was like, man, this isn't working for me, and you're a evergreen entrepreneur. That's what you do.
Right.
What is the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
It changes.
Of
Um,
course.
I think when I started, the best thing was being able to say yes. And now that
Okay.
I'm in my legacy project, I think the best thing is being able to say no.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, because it helps.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, when you're starting out, you gotta be nice to everybody, and you gotta kick a lot of tires. Try a lot of clients, and after a
Mm-hmm.
while, you think, I don't like dealing with people like this. I don't like dealing with people like that. I don't like dealing with people this
Mm-hmm.
or there. So I've learned to say no politely,
Mm.
and if it's something I don't want to get involved in, I can usually find someone else who can do it.
That's kind of key. Say no, but I know somebody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's helpful. I mean, if you have to say no and you don't know somebody, that is what it is. And you
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
but also, so it's no, say no politely, and that you might have somebody for them. That's kind of
Exactly.
the key. I like that.
When I was practicing, my practice area was small business, so I dealt with a
Okay.
lot of entrepreneurs, small business people. I'm not confrontational. I'm just not confrontational at all. And had somebody
You're
came in who,
Canadian.
hey, yeah, what can I say? Eh? And had a potential client come in, and this was a nasty, nasty, nasty
Ooh.
lady, and she had
Oh, you
an
get
issue that
those. Yeah.
I didn't even want to get involved in. And she was talking about what she wanted with her lawsuit. And I'm thinking, I'm not your lawyer. And I was the kind of lawyer that believed that everybody's entitled to a lawyer, but it didn't have to be me. So she
Let's
was a,
highlight that. It doesn't have to be
yeah, it didn't
you.
have to be me. She was really nasty piece of work. Um, and so I
Oh
knew
boy.
just what I wanted to refer her to. So I referred her to a lawyer who considered himself the biggest, meanest, nastiest son of a bitch in the valley. And it was a match made in heaven. She was
Oh,
happy with him. He was happy. He was so happy with her that he referred nice clients to me.
so you're
So
the nice lure. He's the
yeah,
ass, and
yeah.
it's perfect. That works.
Oh
Find
yeah.
your vertical. The nice
Oh,
lawyer.
absolutely, absolutely. Ideal clients. Ideal clients. That, not once I started writing and doing some marketing stuff and small business kinds of things, I came up with the concept of ideal clients. So the ideal
Hmm.
client has to match my personal brand, and we're a match made in heaven. But if there's a disconnect,
Exactly.
it's just going to be hell. And so
Absolutely.
so that's that I enjoy saying no. Thank you,
that.
but no.
You enjoy saying no. I love
Yeah,
that.
I do. I do. I'm an
So what's
introvert, so I don't like going to.
you're an
I
introvert.
used
That's shocking.
when I was in school, I loved parties. I didn't know about introversion then, but now I realize I get tired too soon. So I'm
So you're
claiming
more of
I'm
an
an
ambivert.
introvert.
You're introverted ambivert.
Something like that. Yeah. If
Yeah, like
it's a fun time, I'm.
you get to a point and you're like, all right, I'm done. I gotta go home.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but that's another story.
That's a whole nother story for another day. So then
Yep.
on the flip side, being an entrepreneur, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So what keeps you up at night as a entrepreneur?
Um, I don't have that much problem now.
Okay,
Um,
that's good.
I think when I was starting, it was finding clients,
Yeah,
um, and then it evolved to finding clients that the relationship was mutually beneficial. That I
yeah,
wasn't doing the same old thing for them. Um, I think what keeps me up at night now is not keeps me up at night, but gets me up early in the morning. Is creativity.
Mm.
I just constantly pulse.
Always going.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I got
always
an
going.
idea.
Always
Yeah,
like 5:30 this morning.
keep a notepad by your bed. Yeah.
Oh, five. I can't read my writing. 5:30 this morning. I'm getting this wave of creative energy, and
Yeah.
I've learned that I have to respond to it. So I got up
Good.
and recorded a piece of video for a project I'm working on, and
Good.
when I finish this interview, I'm finished for the day.
Good.
Yeah. So
Go out for a walk. Go pump some iron. But we started at 5:30, and it's
yeah.
now 11:20. I mean, that's a good chunk of
That's a good day.
time.
That's a good day. That's a good day. And since I
But
work
you've
on
earned
my
the right to do that. You've earned the
well,
right to
thank
do
you,
that.
thank
Yeah.
you. So I can go and have a liquid lunch and say Seth told me I can have lunch because I've earned it today on Tuesday.
There on
Yeah, there
Tuesday.
you
It's
go.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Exactly. Go have a pint of beer and relax.
Oh, a glass of wine. Glass of wine.
Oh, glass of wine. Oh, okay. Okay.
Some nice white Sauv Blanc. Oh,
Well, it sounds good. So then, what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? This can be as woo woo as you want to get.
most important thing to carry with me all the time. A positive attitude.
Well, you got
Um,
that. I can tell you that right
you
now.
know,
You've got a very good attitude. So
I'm a big fan of a big believer in you get back what you give out, and I've found, yeah, yeah. Quick story here. This is a
yeah.
this is a little origami bird. Okay,
Ooh, yeah.
and I was in a coffee shop last week, and somebody was sitting there just doing this kind of thing, and I asked him what he was doing, and he said, "Oh, origami," and I said, "Oh, I know about that." And so I had a coffee or tea, and I'm just leaving, and he smiled at me, motioned me over to his table, and he said, "I want you to have this." So he gave me the little bird.
Oh,
Gave me this origami bird. I had to rephrase that. He gave me the origami bird, and so I've got it by my desk as a reminder that you get back what you give out.
it's true. A
And even if
positive
I'm
energy. Yeah.
yeah, and if I'm even if I'm in a negative, and in a vile mood, which happens, it's yeah. Just talk
Yeah.
to
It
my
happens to
family; they
be-
know me.
It happens to the best of
I'm
it.
trying to get over it. So it's positive attitude, and I think I found that with as long as I'm open minded and positive, there are no problems. It's when I
It's amazing
close
how
my
that
mind.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Isn't it? I mean, when I close my mind, you think I've got all the answers or whatever, whatever, whatever. It's nothing but problems. But when I just kind of back
Absolutely.
off and things are way cool, and people give me nice things.
Love it, including origami bird. You never know when
Awesome.
you're gonna. It's awesome. So, Larry, where's the best place for people to find you online?
I'm on LinkedIn. I got a fairly strong profile on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and also my website, larryeasto.com. What I've done with the website is set it up instead of an information dump. It's more of a process
Yeah.
to help people identify one thing they can do. So if there's one thing you could do, if you want to do this, click here. If you want to do that, click there.
Oh,
And
let's
there's
choose your own
also
adventure. Yeah, I like that.
yeah, and there's also a free thank you gift there. 26 ways for service professionals to get new business, um,
Well,
and
you are a
it's just
writer, so yeah, you
oh
expect there
yeah,
to
oh
be some
yeah.
writing on there.
Well, it's a thank you for people tuning in to you and listening to me, and I appreciate their time. I mean, we need the folks out there, and I want to say thank you. So it's my way of saying thank you. So just go to the
I
website and
love
pick
it.
a free copy there.
Love it, my friend. Larry, this has been so much fun.
Is it time up? I thought we just started.
I know, it flies by so fast.
Yeah. We got to do this again.
Yeah. We'll have to do this again when your next book comes out.
Well, actually, I do have another project coming out.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
I have a video course, transformation video course, and I'll send you some information on that. We can do this.
Yeah, we'll put them in the show notes. Absolutely.
Sometime February or March too. And also, I've got a book, the How to Succeed in Your Professional Service Business book. We didn't talk about. There's all sorts of cool information in there. I'll send you a copy of it. In the new year, I'll send you a copy.
Absolutely. And I'll put all the links to the show notes so people can check it out.
Yeah,
there's a wealth of information for Larry.
That's on the website as well. But it'd be fun for you to have a look at the book, and then we can talk about it, because there's little stories in there that are kind of fun. So I'll get that out to you sometime, probably January.
Sounds good, Larry. And we'll see everyone next time.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.
Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.